Good morning, sorry. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the fifth week on online discussion of topic water and wastewater treatment. Instructor of this course is Professor Bhanu Prasad Prakash. He is from IIT Roorkee, and my name is Manitna Prakash. I am here as I'm I'm doing my TA duty as a part of my PMRF fellowship, and I am from IIT Kanpur. So this is week fifth. So every week we meet on Tuesday. Timing is same, and the link is every week you receive this link, and we use Google Meet for online discussion. And the recording of this session is being uploaded on this YouTube channel, so you can rewatch the recording. You can watch the if you have any kind of doubt which you was not clear during the session, you can watch it on this YouTube channel. The link of this channel has been also shared with you. Welcome, Archana Kumari. So I was just going through this introduction part. That welcome to the fifth week. On the fifth week of this water and wastewater treatment course, we have discussed these five major topics. That is relevance of food by mass ratio and design parameter of activated sludge process. Then we discussed about sludge bulking and activated sludge variation. After that, there was some discussion about sequencing batch reactor, that is also known as SPR. And then we discussed about nitrogen removal, what is the importance of nitrogen removal, why it has to be removed from the system. And second part was nitrogen removal was in two part. And after that we also discussed about phosphorus removal. So if you have attended last week, we have discussed for microbial growth, these two are major component, nitrogen and phosphorus. So these are present in wastewater, and we have to remove it because that is not acceptable in treated water. That is another part. But these five topics were discussed in the this week five lecture. So I am here to discuss some of the important question and concept related to that question. So all these question are previous year question, and if you are attending the current assessment part, the current quizzes, you might be expecting similar type of question. So the question will be in both form. That some question will be in numerical form, some question will be in theoretical form. So I will be discussing one by one. There are total 10 questions, so I will be discussing it one by one. And if you have any problem, you can always raise your hand and ask me. Or if you think I'm not able to make you understand, yeah, I'm not able to convey my message in a proper way, you can always raise your hand. Yeah, ask me to please explain again. Yeah, whatever you feel. Okay. So coming to the first question. So the first question is select the correct sequence of the characteristics growth phases of pure culture microbes. So simply what happened, just simply you can say that we know that in our yeah, if you have attended previous lecture, we have discussed something about food by mass ratio. Means there is organic matter present in already present in system. So we add some microbes in the system so that that microbe will degrade our organic matter. So how that microbe grow with time, like what will happen that we were also discussing about the energy release and all these things. So what happened that microbe imagine that there was x number of microbe in the system. So and there is also food available in the system. So that microbe will first of all consume that food, and during consumption that he will produce some energy, and that energy is used by microbes to increase, yeah, to increase their population. So the question is, and doing increase, and means there is total life phase. First the microbe are in initial condition, then it will grow, then its number of population will grow. At the same time, what is happening that the food available for the microbe is also decreasing. Yeah. Okay, C is correct answer. So I am here to discuss what is the What are these different terms? It's good that you know it, but I am here for explaining all this thing, like what is this exponential growth and different terms related to it. You are correct, the answer is C. But before concluding to the answer, this was a MCQ question, that's why you were able to answer it. But suppose imagine this as a subjective paper where you have to write the different growth phase of a culture, a pure culture of microbes. So I will be explaining in detail what are those different phases if microbes go if the sufficient food is available for them in water treatment plant. So if I want to summarize this, so now imagine that what happened that with time the biomass concentration will vary this like this thing, and the reason for is that consider that in a wastewater treatment unit, what will happen that we have given some initially some food, there is no harm here. So what will happen that initially some microbes were introduced here, and this red line is indicating the amount of food present in the system. So initially, what happened? What condition is that the biomass concentration, that is the population of microbes present in the system is very less, but the food that is available for them is very large. So what will happen that initially there will be some lag phase. So what will happen as soon as I have introduced the microbes in my system, so that microbe will adjust to the condition that is in the wastewater depending upon the pH or presence of organic matter, with kind of organic matter. So the initial phase is known as lag phase. After some time what microbe will start to do started to eat this organic matter or degrade this organic matter in presence of oxygen. Remember, oxygen is playing main role in all these things. And that microbes can either can take either free oxygen or attached oxygen. So main role is of oxygen. So whatever is happening, this decrease in food or increase in population of microbes is all depending upon the presence of oxygen. So initially, the initial condition is known as lag phase. In this phase, what happened that the microbe will adjust themselves to the condition that is being in the wastewater. So as soon after some time, what will happen? This microbes will start eating this organic matter present in the system, and the organic matter concentration will start decreasing. So what will happen that, and at the same time as they are eating, they are producing energy. So the population of the biomass will increase, and that phase is known as exponential growth phase. Okay. So this is the exponential growth phase is defined in this way, also known as the log phase. Remember, this is lag phase. Then some second part is also known as log phase. The reason to call this log phase because this graph resemble the log x, y is equal to log x graph. And how this come? This comes from the equation. This come from the this can be mathematically derived also. But before going the mathematical derivation, I will just discuss the what is this exponential growth phase, the also known as log phase. This is the period of intense growth where the population of microbes rapidly increases. During this phase, the growth rate is at its maximum as the microbes are actively dividing and replicating in the favorable environment with abundant nutrition. Abundant nutrition means abundant food. This means obviously this organic matter is rich in nitrogen, phosphorus, though they are acting as a source of nutrition. So large, as what's the condition is, the large amount of food is available, so there is intense growth. So this is the general equation. The second question is why this is known as log phase. So if you remember the growth of this organic matter, that is if I write, suppose my microbe is concentration of microbe is represented by this C, then it is said that dc by dt is proportional to or is equal to first order reaction. I hope you remember what is first order reaction. So the growth of this means the increase in concentration of the population of the microbes is proportional to first order reaction, c की power 1 or simply c. So now what will you will do, you will take this c, the population at any time will be represented by this, means this is this is how a growth of microbes happen in a wastewater or in presence of organic matter. So what will happen that this c will go in the denominator, this dt will, and if you integrate it, it will be integration will be ln c, and you will put the value of t, and you will get the final equation as, after substituting everything, c at any time is equal to c at any time, that is c naught, initial microbes concentration or initial number of population, e की power kt, remember kt. Okay, this is the final equation that we got, that we can get. And if you plot by taking ln both sides, if you plot, you will get this kind of equation, this kind of plot. So that's why this is known as log phase. Okay now, so there can be a question why this which phase is known as, both names are randomly used, exponential growth phase and the log phase. Okay, after what happened that the amount of food available is very limited. At the same time, what is happening that the population is very high. So there come the stationary phase, means population is very high, the food available is limited. So what will happen that there will be no increase in the no further increase in the population of microbes, and that is known as a stationary phase. So a stationary phase is defined in this way. In this phase, the growth rate stabilizes and the number of viable cells remains relatively constant. What is the reason for this constant? Because the food available is very limited, because all the food which was there all has been already consumed. This occurs because the rate of cell division equal to the rate of cell death. So now imagine this thing. Initially, what imagine this thing, how can you relate this thing? So population is very high, food is very limited. So the one which is newly grown cell will consume the available food. What the cell which was the microbe which was produced initially will start to die due to absence of food, because all the food is being utilized by the newly formed microbes. So what happened that at this rate, the cell division, the cell which is forming in the with time is equal to the rate at which the older cell, yeah, older microbes are getting, are dying. Okay, so it's typically characterized by a plateau in the growth curve. Nutrition depletion, waste accumulation, and other environmental factors contribute to the exponential growth and the entry in the separation phase. So I hope this is clear to you. Miss, in a simple word, population is high, food is limited, the rate of production and rate of death is same. So that's why it is known as stationary phase. And as soon as now, what will happen that at same time, the food is more or less as compared to the what was initially present. So and now there is no food available for further growth, or the food available for the particular population that is required. So what will happen that population will start decreasing, or the number of microbes that is present in the system will start decreasing. So that is known as declining phase. So declining phase is defined as, after the exponential growth, the growth rate begins to slow down due to depletion of nutrition, or you can say that number of sorry, food that was available, that is organic matter that was available, has been is in limited amount. That is why there is the depletion of nutrition, accumulation of waste products. Now imagine initially what was happening, that due to degradation of organic matter, huge amount of waste was also being generated. So once the organic matter is degraded, it will produce some kind of waste, and at the same time microbes were also dying. So that was also producing some kind of waste, and the other factor. So all these factor, what happened that all these factor combinedly resulted into the declining growth phase. In this phase, the growth rate decreases. Means the see till now there is means still there is some food, but what is happening that the food is not sufficient for the population. So and at the same time, due to waste and pollution in the wastewater, or in the system, the growth rate is very slow, and the decline rate or death rate is very high. So what the growth rate decreases, and the number of viable cells may start to decline. However, it's important to note that not all the cell may be dying at the same state, but the overall growth rate is declining or diminishing. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you, that why this is referred as this growth declining growth phase. After declining growth phase, the last part what we get is in endogenous phase. So endogenous phase is defined as this is the phase where the number of viable cells start to decline, and the cell enter a stable or dormancy or undergo program death cell. Now what happening, there is no further increase in the population in spite having food all the cell that was present in the system, or you may imagine, you may also say that the food availability for them is not sufficient or not at all available. In graph I have shown that there is a food, but apart from food, other environmental conditions such as it should that there should not be any kind of waste and all these things. So combining all this experience, all these conditions, what is happening that there is no further growth in the number of there is no further growth of microbes. That why it is known as endogenous. From the name it also suggests end. Okay now, decrease in cell viability due to various factors such as nutrition exhaustion, toxic metabolism accumulation, and environmental stress. So remember, someone can ask what is the reason for this phase. So you have to be specific about these keywords, that is toxic metabolite accumulation. What is this, what does this thing means? Because when they were when microbes were degrading, they were dying itself, and they were also producing some kind of waste. So that, and that all waste were getting accumulated, and they were creating some kind of toxic environment. And environmental stress means sufficient condition is not there due to presence of waste and all this thing. What was happening, the presence of oxygen was very less in the system. Remember, with time the oxygen is also decreasing. Suppose initially the oxygen concentration was this thing, so concentration of oxygen is also decreasing. Okay na? So combining all these factor, we I am saying that this phase has been achieved. So the correct answer was C. If you uh, gone through the theory, this is the final answer, that is C. First exponential growth, then stationary phase, then declining growth phase, and then this is endogenous phase. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Then I will go to the second question. Second question is true false based on that thing. So if you have read about this endogenous phase, so you can easily answer this question. In the above question, in the endogenous phase, there is a little growth in the microbial population due to a scarcity of substrate. Substrate is also known as organic matter. So so remember, in this indigenous phase, we are saying that undergo program death cell and all these things. But the main thing is that the rate of this is only due to one thing, that is rate of growth is very less as compared to the rate of growth is very less as compared to rate of death. That's why it has achieved the endogenous phase. Means all microbes present in the system is dying, but still there is some what do we call growth, and the growth is due to presence of little amount of food present in the system. Whenever I am saying food, I am saying just to in a convenience way. But you should always, whenever the term food is related, all food is said, always related to the presence of nutrients or substrate. Okay, in treatment method, in treatment world, the term this is substrate is generally used. Okay, but this one means only one thing, that is organic matter. Okay, you have to choose either true or false. So obviously this statement is true. Obviously it's true that endogenous phase is characterized by a decline in microbial population. It is possible that there might be some residual growth. Remember, this is residual growth, or we say background growth, due to the remaining substrate or nutrients in the environment. However, this growth is very minimum as compared to the exponential growth. Oh, remember, very minimal. Okay, phase is often overshadowed by the overall decline in the population viability. So that's why this is the answer for this cancer is true. That is, but you should remember, and the term little is used, that's why we are saying, suppose the question was there is a growth, simply it was little growth, then I could have marked false also, because growth means high growth also. Okay, so depending upon the this little use of little term, I am marking as this as a true. Okay, so the statement, this one is true. So this was related to the first question only. So I hope this is clear to you. If you have any kind of question, you can ask me. Okay, so the coming to the second, sorry, coming to the third question, that is sequential batch reactor, or known as SBR. First you have to understand what is this SBR. Okay, now, so there are this sequential batch reactor. So what is happening that in last class we have discussed about this bioreactor. Okay, now, so what does this bioreactor do? Bioreactor has two parts. First is aeration, simple tank, that is known as aeration tank, and then there is a sludge handler, means where all the, not sludge handler, I'm not, kind of tank only. So what happened that all the this activated sludge process, all this thing is used for process we call a biological treatment. So different, depending upon the kind of wastewater, we can install different kind of activated sludge process. Okay, now, that is aerobic bioreactor. So the function of this reactor is to decompose organic matter or to treat biological. So in market or in treatment plant, if you are, you will see different type of bioreactor, and all these depend upon the type of waste material that is produced in that area. So now imagine a area which is very high, which contains very high organic matter. So depending upon that, the kind of activated sludge process that is required will differ from a state which do not have that amount of organic matter, or maybe say that wastewater contains some kind of industrial wastewater or some inorganic pollutant. So that will require very different type of activated sludge process, or sorry, bioreactor. I'm saying bioreactor. What happened that generally we use activated sludge processes to treat our this organic matter. But depending upon the presence of organic, I said something wrong, please mind my words. Instead of saying bioreactor, I was saying activated sludge process. But activated sludge process is itself a bioreactor. Okay, now, so there are different bioreactor present in the system, and depending upon the type of wastewater, we'll be using the different kind of bioreactor. And also it depends upon the many factor, such as, because different, this is very costly efficient method. It can be easily designed. The investment is not much larger. But other bioreactor which is used in biological treatment are trickling filter. So this is a attached growth. So what happened that it is a kind of tank where there will be some kind of a rock or some from the name it is said attached growth, so there will be some kind of arrangement where microbes will be present, wastewater will go there, and that microbe will eat the organic matter present in the system. And just remember, if you want to compare, always remember what was this ASP. Just I will show you first. First, I will show you how this ASP look like. So this was our common activated sludge process. So this was volume. Here some kind of oxygen is given. Then this water is passed here, and here microbes are present. Now imagine instead of these microbes, there is some what in activated sludge process. What I am doing, that I am adding microbe in this tank only. There is no such thing like attach microbe is present at some particular location. Microbes is present everywhere. Okay, but in this trickling filter, what happened that this in trickling filter, microbes will be present at, suppose this is your tank, or there can be several kind of now imagine there will be different kind of arrangement, and all this arrangement there will be some microbes present all over the body of this arrangement. It may be rock or some kind of a special arrangement. And what will happen then, when we wastewater will come here containing organic matter, this organic matter will be degraded by the this. And I am saying in short, I am discussing in very short way, but you can always go and check some standard books how this attached growth happen. Then there is called rotating biological contractor. Okay, that is also known as RBC. So so what happened that, now imagine that in activated sludge process, what we will have we were having two arrangement. One was for providing oxygen, and another was for providing microbes. Now imagine one arrangement which is circular in nature. So this is circular, wastewater will come here and it will keep rotating. So what will happen that simultaneously it is doing two things, and microbes will be attached on the circular plane. So it is also providing oxygen, and it is also degrading this organic matter. So it is doing two works simultaneously. Then there is sequential batch reactor. I will discuss about this sequential batch reactor in detail in next slide. Then there is these are very advanced micro biological treatment method, that is mixed bed biofilm. Use of biofilm, yeah, use of membrane is very expensive method, which is not generally not done in India. So if you go to the Europe, yeah, USA, you will see this kind of treatment method plant in there. In India at some location I think there is, but it is very costly. So, and it is also these method are done in a very large scale. Suppose if you have very large amount of wastewater, but these method is generally um, used for a, so say a small society where the wastewater generated is generation is very low, so that can be used at that location. This where the, at this membrane bioreactor and mixed biofilm reactor can be used. Okay, so these were different type of bioreactor. Remember, these are bioreactor. Initially I was saying activated sludge process, I was saying it in a wrong way, so please sorry for that. These are different type of bioreactors present in the market or present in the wastewater treatment. So depending upon the economy or depending upon the type of wastewater, the type of these bioreactors are used. Okay, so this is a sequential batch reactor. So first you have to understand what is batch. So batch is a simply, we take one vessels or we take any glassware, we add some of our chemicals in this, and there will be some kind of reaction in that, and we take reading. So this is simple, this is a simple one batch reaction. Okay, now sequential batch reactor. So sequence means one step means we are doing several steps one after one. So initially what will happen, there will be initial batch which will wastewater will come and it will fill, and after that there will be some aeration and it will go in the second batch. In second batch some microbes will be there. Microbes, consider it has contained some microbes. There will be some reaction, and after that it will be left out for for settlement. So what will happen, that all the organic matter which is degraded, all the microbes which were dead will get settled down. And what will happen, that now the clean water which is at the above, at the top of this batch reactor will be taken out, and this cycle will keep going on for next batch. So this is, you can see, there is a fill, reaction, settlement. Reaction is happening between microbes and organic matter. The suspended particle which was generated will settle down. The clean water will be drawn and will be taken to the another treatment unit, and the this unit will keep rotating. So this is known as sequential batch reactor. Means we are doing one after one. The main characteristics of this SBR is suspended growth sequential batch. Means here suspended. Remember there in ASP also we were doing suspended growth. Means we were adding microbe in the this tank, the tank which was beside the aeration tank, and there was suspended growth. Means there was no attachment. Water in suspension only there was growth of microbes. Fine bubble aeration. We are providing proper aeration, high quality effluent. So the water which is there is of high quality. Moving system of weirs and descenders required. So this makes it very costly, because you have to mechanically move from one place to one another. Complex operation requiring electronic complex control. So you can imagine that you have to first fill this, then this, then this. So there is a requirement of proper maintenance. So this is a real time picture of a batch reactor, SVR. So this is picture, I don't know the source of this picture. I have taken it from my class notes. So you can say that, you can see that water will enter from this side, and it will go via several, sorry, water will enter from this side. Just water can enter from any side. I don't know from which side it will enter, but you can see that all these operation will go simultaneously. Not simultaneously, means one after one. Now just for example say that water is entering from here. So water will enter here, then it will go here, then it will go there, then it will go there, then it will finally it will come out from here. At the end of the day you will have high sludge and very low clean water. Okay, because all the water has been extracted out from the system. So the typical process involved in the steps are, that is, first, I have already explained it, but I am again explaining it one by one, because our option were this thing: pumping, desenting, sedimentation, aeration, and disinfection. So if you have understood this, you can answer that question. But still I am explaining one by one. Pumping. This step involves pumping the influent to wastewater to the reactor. So we are at this location, we are filling our sequential batch, we are filling our first batch. That is known as pumping. Then there is aeration. Obviously, why we are doing aeration? We are doing aeration to provide oxygen so that microbes can degrade or decompose our organic matter. Aeration is carried out to provide oxygen to microbial biomass, facilitating the biological treatment of the wastewater. Third step is sedimentation. Now once the what will happen, the organic matter has been consumed by microbes, so some waste will be generated, then that will be settled down. Okay, so after treatment cycle the suspended solid settle down to form sludge at the bottom of the reactor. Okay, so this is the third portion. And now desenting means once sedimentation completed, the clarified effluent is desented or removed from the top of the reactor. So means we are drawing the clean water, all the sludge will settle down and we will be taking out the clean water. Okay, and the finally disinfection. So the treated effluent may undergo disinfection to eliminate any remaining pathogen before being discharged. Okay, so my final aim is to discharge my, here I am not showing disinfection, we are just showing that we have taken out our water, but another step also involved that my final aim is to dispose our wastewater as per the limit provided by the government. So that water should not contain any kind of pathogens, so I have to remove that pathogens. So for that there are several disinfection methods such as use of chlorine or ozone and ultraviolet. So that is advanced thing. So but before disposing we disinfect with some kind of chemicals. Okay, so the overall all answer will be B, and the processes will be 1 4 3 2 5. Okay, and 1 4 3, these were all the 1 4 3 2 5 means first. So this was a simple question. If you have gone through the lectures you can answer this, but I am here to give some detail how the SBR things work. Okay. Hmm. So coming to the fourth question, again related to, now remember this sludge bulking. So remember all the question are related to each other only. So in first process also you have seen this thing. What you seen the miss in the in indigenous phase, we have seen one thing that accumulation state leading to decline of culture. So there was this term decrease in various factors such as toxin accumulation. This accumulation will be in terms of some solid. Means some solid is being settled down at the bottom of your reactor. And similarly here when I was discussing this thing, so there is generation of sludge. Okay, here also sludge has been generated from picture. Also from picture I am also not able to recall which one is the sludge, but here you can see that there is some generation of sludge. Okay, so we have said this thing, uh, uh, where I have written down to form sludge at the bottom of the reactor. So miss this sludge is playing some important role in cleaning our water. So a term is being defined, sludge bulking can be usually controlled by before going to the question, first you have to understand what is this sludge bulking. So I will explain you with via one personal experience that you might have encounter in your day-to-day life. So the example is that now imagine you are doing laundry and you put soap in the washing machine to clean your clothes. Now instead of dirty water getting clean and draining out properly, it becomes all fluffy and do not go away easily. So remember, miss, what will happen that if you are cleaning your water, you have cleaned with some of rope, so with some soap, so some particles will remain suspended in the water and it won't go easily, and you can easily remove from your via hand. So similar thing happens, miss. Uh, I hope you are getting it. What I am saying, this fluffy thing. You must during washing your clothes, you must have experienced this fluffiness of waste that is being generated at the top of water. So whenever I do, I generally used to see it. I hope you have also seen it. So what happened that this similar thing also happen in this wastewater treatment plants. From there, this term sludge bulking is defined. So in wastewater treatment, there is a tiny living organism that is also known as microbes that helps in clean that help to clean the water. And how it helps to clean the water? It degrades the organic matter. Sometimes their organisms start growing too much and sticking to each other in a big clumps. So I obviously what is happening that initially there was again remember whenever I am discussing this question I will again and again refer to the first picture which I have shown, that is this different phase with time. So initially there was this lag phase, growth phase, then a stationary phase. Always try to uh, whenever you're trying to answer this question, always try to imagine that graph, and with graph you should remember three things: population of microbes, presence of organic matter, yeah, amount of organic matter, and third is availability of oxygen in the system. All these three factors helps in degradation of organic matter and cleaning of water. Okay, stick together and making the water all fluffy and thick, like a foam bath. When this happens, it's called sludge bulking. Remember, the presence of microbes that is attaching each other, making the water fluffy due to degradation of organic matter, is considered as sludge bulking. This fluffy sludge do not settle down properly, which makes it harder to clean water effectively. So sludge bulking is like when the cleaning process is in a wastewater treatment gets is bit messy because the organism growth is too much and make the water thick and fluffy. So this sludge bulking is not a good thing because it for the problem why it is not good thing. My aim is that organic matter will decompose and it will get settled down at the bottom of my tank. Now imagine that thing is not happening. Why it's not happening? Because all the microbes which is present in the system is sticking with each other, and they are being suspended in the system and not getting settled now. So this is creating problem, and this is affecting our efficiency of treatment process. So this is known as sludge bulking. So we will see this sludge bulking is a beneficial thing or a good thing, or a unnecessary thing. So till now we can say that this is unnecessary thing because this is not helping. This is due to this process my main target is that is to clean water is not getting fulfilled. So I can say that this sludge bulking is not a good thing. So before answering this question, I will be discussing each and every term that is adjusting food by mass ratio. Whenever you have been discussed about food by mass ratio, this is how your food vary, and this is how your mass vary. Reducing the sludge age. What is this sludge age? Means you are providing some kind of time for degradation. So how much time you are giving it. So it also so that will also decide whether this organic matter is getting decomposed or not. The third point is presence of this aeration tank, or presence of what do we call how much oxygen I am providing to the system. Okay, and third is denitrification. Means uh, are we doing something to just 1 minute? What I'm doing? Can I increase the size of pen here? No. Hmm. So what is denitrification? I will also discuss that thing. So if you are aware, remember this. This is multiple correct. Means one more than one option can be correct. Okay. So I will discuss one by one what are these different terms. So I hope you have understood what is this sludge bulking. So adjusting food by mass ratio, first option. Food by mass ratio is food to microorganism. I mean, remember, whenever I say mass means mass of microorganism. Yeah, microorganism. So different books refer it by as different term. Someone will add food by mass, yeah, food by microorganism. But general term is food by mass only. Micro. I am not. I should not have written this microorganism. Okay. So this is defined as either ratio of organic substrate or organic matter concentration to the concentration of microorganism in activated sludge system, or in any system, not in just activated, or you can say in as question is related to this. No, there is no particular term in which reactor they are talking, but this can be in any bioreactor. By adjusting the ratio, the operation can control the ability of organic matter. The first question is simply without till now, whatever I have discussed till now, someone can answer from that knowledge also, that sludge bulking can be controlled by food by mass ratio. So I have explained you this graph thing. So obviously this thing, production of sludge can be controlled if I control this thing. Okay now. So let's see how can be controlled. By adjusting this ratio, operator can control the ability of organic matter to the organism. So whatever the organic matter is, therefore Now we want to reduce our bulking things. We don't want our water to get fluffy due to presence of this organic matter, high or microbes. So one way is to do that. We won't be growing that much of uh, microbes. So, and how microbe is getting produced with the help of organic matter. So what will happen that I will reduce the amount of organic matter, or I will provide a sufficient organic matter that is required to decom sorry, and depending upon the population of microbes, I will providing that amount of organic matter. Obviously we cannot provide the amount of organic matter going in the wastewater cannot be controlled. So what we can do that, organic matter is fixed in the system, so we will be adding microbes as per the concentration of organic matter present in the system. In this way what will happen that the growth on microbes will be limited. Okay, when this is what it's written here. Can we control the ability of organic matter to microorganism? When the food by mass ratio is too high, there is excess of food related to microorganisms which can lead to incomplete degradation of organic matter. Now just imagine a case where too much organic matter is present in your wastewater, and then you are very providing very limited amount of microbes present in the system. So what will happen that there will be not complete degradation of organic matter, because we know that these microbes will die very soonly because it has very short time. It will grow for some time in spite having some kind of food. The older cell will start to die, and which will be leading to killing of all the microbes. So presence of high organic um, uh, which will lead to the degradation of organic which will lead to the incomplete degradation of growth and promote the growth of filamentous bacteria. Remember, now what will happen that this organic matter which is present in the system is not being degraded. So what will happen that this those organic matter will start growing, and they will start growing different kind of bacteria, and one of the bacteria is filamentous bacteria that is responsible for the this fluffiness in the water. Okay, so remember the different terms which I am adding, which I am linking with time as I am discussing each and every questions. So this the incomplete degradation of organic matter which lead promote to the growth of filamentous bacteria, which will make our wastewater very difficult to which will make sludge to very difficult to settle. Conversely, now imagine what is happening. The food by mass ratio is too low, means food is very low and microorganism is very high. There may not be enough food available to support the growth of microorganism, leading to poor treatment efficiency. So now what will happen that this food available for the system is very high, but the organic matter is very, sorry, I'm saying opposite thing. Hmm, food is very low but microbes, number of microbes is very high. So what will happen that all the bacteria may not fully grow, or this means you can imagine what will happen that food is very low, all the microbes will eat all these things. Okay, there's someone left. Oh. So by optimizing the food by mass ratio within the appropriate range, operators can encourage the growth of desirable flock forming microorganism, and while discouraging the growth of this filamentous bacteria, thus helping to control sludge bulking. So my final aim, yeah, my only aim is to control the growth of this filamentous bacteria. So this can be both can be so this can be controlled by optimizing this food by mass ratio. Okay. Coming to the second question, the reducing the sludge age. So what I was saying, the sludge age. Uh, Remember this is our tank, and when we add this microorganism in the system or wastewater in a system containing micro. So there is some time required for all the degradation. You cannot just add it and take it out immediately, because this degradation is very slow process, and it requires some time. So first, read about this. What is this sludge age? The sludge age refers to the average length of time that particle of activated sludge remain in the treatment process. Activated sludge, remember, this activated sludge is a combination of many things, microbes, and uh, the sludge is activated because we are taking because that sludge contain some kind of microbes. So that microbes is helping in decomposition of organic matter present in our system. And the time required, yeah, average time required for all the process to happen is known as sludge age. Sludge age is directly related to the residence of the time of microorganism in the system. So you can just directly say that more the sludge age, means the bacteria has been remaining in the system for more time for degradation. By reducing the sludge age, operators can limit the time available for the filamentous bacteria to perforate or to grow. So what will happen that now, imagine that there were different conditions. Either food was short or food was very high. So all were leading to the growth of this bacteria. Now I want to now suppose that you have no control on the amount of microbe or amount of organic matter present in the system. What you can do, that you can control the time required for degradation. So now from the past experience or past paper or past research, you can say that this much time is required for degrading this amount of organic matter, or this much time will be taken by this much of bacteria to decompose organic matter. So now you are providing that particular time only. No high time, no low time. Only the time required. Suppose X hour is required. You are just providing X hour. So what will happen, that control the it will control the other parameter, and it won't allow the bacteria to grow and help that might contribute to the this sludge bulking. So what is written here. By reducing the sludge age, operator can limit the time available of filamentous bacteria to percolate accessibly. Filamentous bacteria often thrive in environment with long sludge ages, where they have more time to outcompete with other organisms and dominate the microbial population. By reducing the sludge age, operator can create less favorable condition for filamentous bacteria, promoting a healthier microbial community and helping to control sludge bulking. So remember, the reason for sludge bulking is the presence of this filamentous bacteria. Now, somehow you remove the filamentous bacteria. Now you just remove that, or you just created such environment that no such growth is seen. So that will help in the control of sludge bulking. Okay, coming to the third option, that is aeration. So aeration, first you know that aeration means simple, means provide providing some external air or providing some oxygen to the wastewater. Why we are providing oxygen to the wastewater? Because in presence of oxygen only, that bacteria will decompose our organic matter. Okay, so that's why aeration is very important. If you are not providing aeration, it will your system will be deprived of oxygen. Remember, why aeration we are providing free oxygen, and free oxygen refers to the aerobic condition. Now suppose you are not providing free oxygen, so it will start consuming the oxygen which are attached oxygen with say SO4 present in the system, nitrate present in the system. It will start consuming that oxygen. So it will create a anaerobic condition. So in anaerobic condition, some pH of wastewater will rise. Then what will happen? Then some foul gases, foul smell will started to come. So this won't be good for our society. This society, I'm saying, this won't be good for our wastewater. So this aeration is defined as what did it? Aeration is defined as aeration is essential for providing oxygen to microorganisms in activated sludge. So if by providing activated sludge, you have already providing microbes. If I am forget to mention it, how micro we are introducing microbe in the system. So we are introducing microbe in the system by with the help of activated sludge. So imagine initially there was some sludge which contains some microbes, and that will degrade my organic matter, and it will contain high amount of microbes. So I will just I won't let that system to degrade completely. I will just pick up that system. Someone has left. Hmm. Sorry. So what will happen that aeration does not specifically target. Sorry. Aerobic condition necessary for biology. However, while proper aeration is crucial for overall process efficiency, it is not directly related to controlling filamentous bulking. Aeration does not specifically target the growth of filamentous bacteria or address the factor leading to the sludge bulking. So it is just providing oxygen. It doesn't contribute in anything related to this thing, filamentous growth. So that's why, and also remember during the providing aeration, we are not doing any kind of aeration. We are not promoting any kind of growth. So we are just simply providing some oxygen to the system. So that's why this is not related to filamentous bacterial growth. Okay, the fourth option is denitrification. So first of all, what you should know, what is this denitrification. So denitrification is a biological process that occurs under anaerobic condition. Remember this anaerobic condition. What is this anaerobic condition? In presence of, remember, many people say that presence of oxygen is aerobic, presence of absence of oxygen is anaerobic. This is incorrect definition. Presence of free oxygen is known as aerobic condition, and presence of absence of free oxygen means in both condition oxygen is required. In one condition free oxygen that is available in the atmosphere is required, and in anaerobic condition oxygen which is attached to something, some parts, say NO2, SO2 or many things. When the macros will start consuming that organic that oxygen, then this condition is known as anaerobic condition. So what will happen that denitrification is a process that occurs under anaerobic condition where nitrate, that is NO3 minus or NO2 minus, is reduced to nitrogen. Okay, or other nitrogenous compound. While nitrification is important in nitrogen removal. So remember, denitrification in name itself suggests that this is for removal of nitrogen. That is nitrogen nitrate present in the system will be converted into nitrogen gas or other system, and it will escape in the system. It has nothing to do with the growth of our microorganism. Okay, so that this is what here, while denitrification is for important for nitrogen removal in the wastewater treatment, it is not directly related to the controlling sludge bulking. Denitrification target nitrogen compound rather than the microorganism responsible for sludge bulking. It does not directly address the issue of filamentous. Remember, this denitrification is just there for nitrogen removal. It has nothing to do with our, what do we call is, sludge bulking. Okay, so the answer of this question will be A and B. That is what option was A and B. This A and B by adjusting food by mass ratio and reducing sludge age. And these two option is just, this is for providing oxygen and this is for removal of nitrogen. Okay, so the answer of this question will be A and B. So these all questions in this session, all questions are mostly theoretical question only. So that's why I'm trying to give as much information as you can, as I can give, so that you don't have any kind of doubt and you can explain this thing to anyone. If someone asks what is this adjusting food by mass ratio, food by mass ratio, what is this sludge age, what is why aeration is done, why denitrification is done. Okay, so correct answer was A and B. Coming to the another fifth question, that is select the characteristics of biological system. Again, see, we are here with biological system with high food by mass ratio. This again, this is um, multiple correct question, and there are four option, and I will be discussing it one by one. Based on the previous discussion, I can answer this question directly, but I have already given. Miss, I can discuss it directly, but again I will be going one option by one. So these are I won't be giving too much time on this question, because I have already explained what is this food by mass ratio, why this biological, and in previous question I have also explained what is this excess food for microbes. Okay, and just remember, whenever this food by mass ratio question comes, always try to draw this diagram. This is your food and this is your microbial growth. Okay, always remember, if you can relate this graph, if you have understood different phase, that is this lag phase, then this is growth phase, and this is a stationary phase, then decline phase, and here this is indigenous phase, then you will be able to understand this question. And now the question is high food by mass ratio. So how means, only one explanation is that food is very high, means presence of organic matter is very high, but the microbes present in there for what do I call, for degradation is very low. So what will happen? So I will be discussing one by one. So before going to this answering this question, I will be explaining what is this food by this, remember this is a mathematical expression also. If you are preparing for some kind of exam like gate or all these things, sorry for the inconvenience. So this is a mathematical expression, and this food is bio food is subtract concentration that is coming from the wastewater, and this x also known as biomass is amount of biomass is what is biomass? Biomass is microbes, and the formula is given by this thing, q naught by s naught divided by volume into the amount of biomass concentration present in that this tank. Okay, so remember, this is ratio, food by mass ratio, but the unit is not, this is not a unitless quantity. Remember, this has a unit of milligram per liter, this has a unit of milligram per liter, but this has a unit of meter cube per second, या meter cube by divided by per day, या volume by time, and it has unit of this time. So the overall unit of this food by mass ratio is time inverse, TI. Remember, this is very common mistake people do during writing subjective examination, that when they are finding ratio they will just express the answer in some term, 0.5 0.6, but remember it has a unit of, suppose if your answer is 0.5, then it will be 0.5 day per day, yeah, day minus day ki power minus 1. Okay, so this is, now imagine, with the some theoretical knowledge and with the help of this formula you can answer the this question. So I will be going one by one. The first option is excess food for microbes. With high food by mass ratio, there is, where did it go, I will be using this pointer. With high food by mass ratio, there is an abundance of food related to the number of microorganisms present in the system. This excess food can be lead to conditions favorable for microbial growth and activity. Okay, I hope this is clear. I am not wasting too much time again explaining the same thing. Okay, B option is microbes have low energy to swim around, as high food biomass indicates an abundance of food which provide energy for the microbial metabolism and activity. Microbes are likely to be active and have sufficient energy for swimming and other physiochemical processes. Physiological process, not physiochemical, physiological process. Obviously, what will happen that more food, more energy. Also remember one thing: do not mix this concept with the previous concept which I was discussing, that is sludge bulking. In sludge bulking, where we were discussing about the concept of this thing, filamentous growth of bacteria. That is different thing, and the microbes which I am discussing here is different thing. So please do not mix the concept. Always move according to the choice of the question, or uh, hmm, amount of the food. Sorry. So the statement is clear. A high food biomass ratio indicates an abundance of food which provide energy for microbial growth and microbial metabolism and activity. Microbes are likely to be active and have sufficient energy for swimming and other physiological process. The second option is getting good flux formation. A high food biomass. This is now related to this sludge bulking thing. How does flux form? Uh, um, just you can just read this statement. A high food biomass ratio may result in poor settling, characteristic due to excessive microbial growth and the formation of bulking sludge, rather than the formation of well settling flocks. Remember, the term flocks is flocks. My main how is how something will settle down. Remember, I have my main target is this is my this I have to make it settle. Now I have what I have to do is that I have to when some what will happen that when these microbes degrade organic matter, so it will form some kind of flocks. Flocks means some small kind of small particles. So what will happen that now too much food is there. So what will happen that these flocks won't settle down. Okay, so this is what I have written. A high food by mass ratio result to the poor settling characteristic due to excess microbial growth and the formation of bulking sludge. And how this bulking sludge is happening due to growth of filamentous bacteria rather than the formation of well settling flocks. Now with this well settling flock, these flocks are not being formed. Therefore, good settling flocks formation is not typically associated with high food by mass ratio. Or you can easily say, or in other word, you can also say that the my main target to remove the sludge from the system or to degrade our organic matter is not happening in the desired way which I wanted. So it is always recommended that we should always provide the microbe as per according to the amount of food available in the wastewater. Okay, the D option was fast microbial growth rate. If high food biomass often result in the microbial growth rate because of the plenty supply of nutrition available to the microorganism. So this is also true. The more food, more microorganism will get, same microorganism will get high amount of food and it will degrade, it will grow fastly. Okay, so the correct option is A and D only. These B and C is not related to high food is not good with respect to high food by mass ratio. Only A and D are correct. Okay, if you have any confusion, read the question again. Select the characteristics of microbial system with high food by mass ratio. Option is option A and D are correct. Okay, so this was fifth question, and this question again, a question related to sludge bulking. Okay, so what is the potential consequence of sludge bulking in wastewater treatment? We have already discussed this sludge bulking, and I hope you remember this. This was, I hope you remember this definition. If you are not, just again I am reading. Tiny living organisms that help in clean water. Sometimes these organisms start growing too much and stick together to form big clumps, making water all fluffy and thick. So based on this definition and based on these um, different terms which I have explained, you can I can understand. Means I hope that you are able to answer the question of this. Again, this is multiple correct question. That is, what is the potential consequence of sludge bulking in wastewater treatment? So there are not this. I don't know why it is R written. From the R, it is obviously that there is some correction. It will be what is. Okay. The food I will be explain. I will be go. Miss, I have already given too much time on this question in previous questions, which was related to sludge bulking. So I will just read out the answer of this question. The potential consequences of sludge bulking in wastewater treatment plants include: A is reduced treatment efficiency and increase effluent solid. So this is obvious. You are, instead of growing microbes, which is there was to degrade our organic matter, we are making condition in such a way that those microbes are not growing. Instead of that, some filamentous bacteria is growing. So that will obviously lead to this condition. Sludge bulking can lead to poor settling characteristics. Obviously, now imagine that this was your tank and this was your flocks that were formed. Now it has to settle down here. Now in between this kind of suspended flaky materials is in your system, so that will hinder your settling characteristic, resulting in reduced clarification efficiency and higher level of suspended solid in the treated effluent. So I hope this is clear to you. Hmm. The second option is increased energy consumption and operational cost. Energy consumption and operational cost. Okay. So dealing with the sludge bulking often required additional energy intensive process. Now, what? How can I explain in this? This is well understood. Now, my target was to remove organic matter or degrade my organic matter. Now, there is some secondary problem, that is filamentous growth. So now I have to remove it. So for removing it, I have to build another unit, so that will cost me extra amount of money which was not required. Okay, so this is what is written here. So I have to so this is for removal, some energy is required. Okay, such as increase aeration. Now what different method is adopted, that is aeration can be increased or addition of some chemical treatments. Now what happened that in uh, sorry, uh, in your tank some filamentous things is there. So now you want to remove, so either you can provide some oxygen so that this can be degraded, or you have to add some chemicals from outside. So what will happen that this chemical will dissolve it, will do some reaction. I'm exactly don't know, but somehow it will remove that filamentous growth. This addition operation required can lead high energy consumption and operational cost. Now imagine that you have already built your treatment plant. Now you have to add something extra, so that will require extra money. So that will be not good for your treatment plant. So and that will be not cost effective treatment method. Third option is obstruction of pipes and equipment in treatment process. So excessive growth of filamentous bacteria and formation of black cysts can lead to clogging and obstruction of pipe and other equipment in the treatment process. This can result in operation disruption, maintenance issue, and potential damage to the equipment. So this is obvious thing that, because we know that initially the all the what do we call, all the microbial growth is happening here, then from here to it will go to some secondary unit, and it will go via some pipe. Now remember, this pipe has some particular capacity, capacity, and this capacity was designed keeping in the mind that only organic matter will decompose and nothing else. And now imagine that along with organic matter, some other thing is also getting produced. So obviously, that will result in the coagulation. That will result in the term, what a clogging, clogging of my pipe. So this will be an external expenditure that I have to do to clean that pipe. So this is due to sludge bulking. This can be also, this is also a problem. So the answer is D, that is all of D. Sorry, all of above. Okay. So this was the question. What are the potential consequences of sludge bulking in the wastewater? And the answer is all of the above. Okay. I hope this is clear to you. If you have any doubt, you can ask, or else I am going to the seventh question, which is again related to the bulking of the sludge. Okay, so from miss, this lecture was completely related to this biological treatment. That's why this is we are discussing about this bulking of sludge in wastewater. Okay, there are four options: excessive growth of filamentous bacteria, inadequate mixing of wastewater and sludge, high organic load. Remember, this is multiple correct question, so A obviously is correct, but also look at the uh, other option also. Okay, so what are the primary reasons? So I will be discussing it one by one. The first is excessive growth of filamentous bacteria. Remember, first filamentous bacteria. What are those filamentous bacteria? Different these are different type of filamentous. Just remember what this filamentous means. Bacteria has some kind of filament. Filament means some kind of filament. Must know what is this filament. Huh? So these are different kind of filamentous bacteria that is generally occurring in the activated sludge system. Okay. These filamentous bacteria form long thread-like structure, can intervene and create bulky fluffy sludge. This bulking sludge has poor settling characteristic, leading to the inefficiency of wastewater treatment. So a different set of question can be. So remember, if from now onwards, if someone asks you what is this bulking of sludge, how this bulking of sludge happen, what are the different problem due to bulking of sludge, you should answer this question, because I have given too much time on this thing. So these are very small things, but many times people just ignore these things. This this let's see low and low VLCC. And so let's see if C is correct answer or not. Hmm. So obviously the A will be your answer. Miss, this thing I have already I have discussed previously also. I'm not going back. It will be like I'm discussing same thing again and again. Okay. Inadequate mixing of wastewater and sludge. Inadequate mixing of wastewater and sludge. So inadequate mixing of wastewater and sludge. So remember, if you have gone through the picture, uh, just remember this picture. So see, this is providing, this is doing two things. One is providing, when it is mixing wastewater, and it is also, now remember as we are creating with the help of this thing, we are creating some kind of turbulence in the system. So it will do aeration also, that will provide oxygen to the system also, and it is also helping in the proper mixing. Okay, so it is doing both thing. Okay, so now imagine that you are not properly mixing it. So if you are not properly mixing it, means you are not properly providing sufficient oxygen to the system. Okay, so the proper mixing is also required. So this is what happened. Proper mixing of wastewater and the sludge is crucial for encouraging uniform distribution of nutrition and oxygen and microorganisms throughout the pattern, throughout the treatment process. Again, refer to that picture only. So, sorry for going back. Hmm. So this was our system. Now imagine that you are not properly mixing, and we know that it might happen that all the organic matter is here, all the microbes are here only, and the oxygen is here. All three things are at different location. So nobody is getting what they are required. Organic matter has to be degraded, microbes has to be reached at, microbes should be near the organic matter, and there should be sufficient oxygen. Now imagine all three are not properly mixed. So the desired process or desired activity which we want won't be done, and the our microbe, our organic matter won't be degraded in a easily manner. Okay, so that's why it is said that in this can lead to uh, crucial for inform inadequate mixing can lead to localized area. Means what will happen, the localized area, in some particular area all the microbes will be there, and some in some area there will be no microbes. This can also happen. Localized area with a standard or low flow condition, creating zones where filamentous bacteria may grow. Now imagine that there is no oxygen, या no proper microbes is present to degrade that organic matter, and we know that when there is no degradation of organic matter, that organic matter will lead to formation of filamentous characteristics. So hmm. Additionally, poor mixing can result in stratification at Z zone with the treatment plant, further promoting the growth of filamentous bacteria and contributing to the sludge bulking. So overall, is the process that if if sufficient oxygen is not provided, sufficient mixing is not done, this microbes, organic matter which is present here, it will contain less amount of microbes, and it might happen that some organic matter has too much of microbes, so this one will be degraded easily, but this one which has less amount of microbes will start forming this filamentous bacteria, and that will result into sludge bulking. C option is high organic load. High organic load means you are providing high amount of food, and low VLCC, VLMSS in the recent time. When the influent wastewater has high organic matter and there is low VL MLVSS, that is mixed liquor volatile suspended solid, in the recent time, it creates condition conductive to the growth of filamentous bacteria. High organic load provide ample food the microbial, while the low MLVSS concentration indicate a deficiency of active microorganism in the treatment process, allowing the filamentous bacteria to grow या proliferate. Now remember, it is using some technical term like MLVSS or high organic load. But what does this high organic load means? High organic load means high food. That is, F is very high. And what is this VLMSS? This is mixed liquor volatile suspended solid. this volatile thing is our microbes. So that is m. Okay, so simply it is saying that high food by mass ratio. Okay, and we have already seen what is the effect of high food by mass ratio. That is, we have seen the effect of food by high food by mass ratio. So the here in this question they are using some technical term, scientific term, but if you have just focus on these two term, high organic load and low VLMS, you should consider that they are talking about high F by M, and you know that high F by M contribute to the sludge bulking, because food is high, microbe is low. Again, this condition is applying that in a container high organic matter is there, but very few microbes is there. So some of the organic matter will decompose, and the remaining will start forming filamentous bacteria, a filament structure bacteria. The fourth option is insufficient aeration in the treatment process. So, uh, mhm. Remember, hmm, insufficient aeration. Again, this insufficient aeration, I have already discussed about this aeration in here also. Where also here, I have discussed about this. Somewhere I have discussed this aeration. Here also you can see that this aeration is not directly linked to this sludge bulking. Okay, so if you want to read this paragraph, you can read it. uh, what's saying, aeration is essential for providing oxygen to microorganisms activated sludge process, promoting aerobic condition necessary for biological. Insufficient aeration can lead to oxygen depletion in certain area of treatment plant, creating anaerobic or suboptimal condition that favor the growth of filament. Without aerobic uh, okay, actually here I have written it wrongly. Not wrongly, it means on what context I am saying you should understand. But if do you, what are the, they are asking about the primary regions. Okay, now primary region are generally two region, that is filamentous growth and high food. This aeration tank or presence of proper aeration is another thing. Okay, so the answer will be only A and C. So if you have gone through the explanation, it might seem that all the options should be correct. That is A, B, C, D. Okay, now, but the answer is only A and C are correct, because they are asking about primary. What are primary? These are secondary thing. Okay, now. So if so obviously this will also result in the sludge bulking, but I have already explained in the past, in previous slide, that how this aeration is not directly linked to this sludge bulking thing. Okay, so you should not confuse yourself, and you should focus on what kind of question is being asked. Okay, so question was of, what was the question? Question was a primary thing. That's why answer is A and C. If similarly they were, what are the different regions? Remember what are the different region for sludge bulking? Then I would have marked all of the above, A, B, C, D. Okay. Coming to the second, sorry, I think the total 11 question. So coming to the eighth question, which is not variation of activated sludge process used for nutrients removal? Remember, I have already discussed different type of what I have discussed, different type of bioreactor. Okay, so this was a bioreactor. Activated sludge process is also a bioreactor. This is also bioreactor. This is also bioreactors. This is also bioreactor. And remember what, why I am saying activated sludge. Activated sludge means um, uh, this is kind of a reaction. So what will contain? It will contain some kind of activated sludge. Activated sludge means high microbes. So I will introduce some microbes from here to here. So this will what will happen that it will help in the degradation of microorganism, and with that it will contain different type of microorganisms. So that will also help in the nutrients removal. So they are asking that which of the not variation of not a variation of activated sludge process used for nutrition removal in wastewater treatment. So before answering that, you should know what are how just read means I will go to directly through the solution. Sequential batch reactor. I have already remember I have already given too much time on in this question in explaining these three things, these four things. Okay. See the correct answer. What are different type of bioreactor? Hmm. So sequence. No, C is not correct answer. Extended aeration is not. Extended aeration is all are. Remember, whenever I'm talking about this activated sludge process, remember this figure, that we are bringing some waste to here. Okay, we are means using some sludge to activate our system. In SBR also, in when I was discussing SBR also, remember we were not introducing any kind of external microbes, but these microbes were continuously rotating with time. Okay, so these were already activating our system. So see, I don't think see. Just let's see the answer. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Hmm. So what is happening that these are all these hair membrane removal, extended aeration are activities which also help in the removal of nutrients. Some nutrients will be also removed with the help of some nitrifiers, or with some of nitrifiers which I have explained in doing denitrification. But remember this RBC, that is rotating biological contactor, a different type of microbial treatment process that involves fixed media biofilms reactor, where microorganism attached to a rotating disc or drum submerged in a wastewater and used for organic carbon removal. So the answer will be D. Before going to the answer, I want to show you this. What is this? So I have already said this. This is a what will happen that a kind of biofilm will be attached to here, and that biofilm will contain some kind of microbes. Water will come here. It will contain some organic matter, and that biofilm will just act on the organic matter present in the system. It has to do nothing with the other nutrition, that is phosphorus or nitrogen present in the system. But remember, in other system we are also in that system we are also using some kind of nitrifiers. Next question is also related to nitrifiers, so you will be able to easily relate it. So is happening that these biofilms are just reacting with the organic matter or carbon content in the system, in the organic system, and it will be react, and it will outflow will have very less amount of organic matter or organic content in the form of carbon. So this is a real picture. So uh, this is a picture of a single this is a picture of a single just let me erase this is a picture of single reactor, but remember this is a big plant. This picture is not from India. There is a big plant which is using this rotating biological contractor. So now this it is used at a place where there is a in wastewater the nutrition amount is very low. Only high organic component is there. High organic is in form of carbon is there. So generally at that location this kind of RBC, rotating biological contractor is used. So you can read this statement. Rotating biological contractor is a different type of biological treatment uh, process that involves fixed media biofilm reactor where microorganism attached to a rotating disc or drum submerged in a wastewater. RCB is typically used for organic carbon removal rather than the nutrition removal. When we talk about nutrition removal, we also talk about nitrogen and phosphorus removal. Okay, so removal of nitrogen and phosphorus is very different thing. For removal of nitrogen and phosphorus, we need for nitrogen we need what do we call nitrifiers, denitrifiers, and for removal of phosphorus, there is different technique. Okay. So now this question occurs. What is select the correct characteristics of nitrifiers. So before answering this question, one should have idea of this. What is nitrifiers? Okay. So nitrifiers are the type of microorganism responsible for the biological conversion of ammonia to nitrate and then nitrate to in then to nitrite in nitrogen cycle. This process known as nitrification occur primarily in aerobic environment, play a crucial role in removal of nitrogen from the wastewater in biological treatment plants. Okay, so what will happen that in our wastewater, if you have remembered this last lecture, there was a question that nitro related to this nitrate only, in what form nitrates are available in our wastewater. So it is either in generally it is in Gendal nitrogen, if you remember this Gendal nitrogen question. So there I have said it will be either in organic nitrogen form. So that organic nitrogen will be taken by will be taken up by this by converting it into when organic on the, when microbes degrade organic matter, C is getting converted into CO2 and N is converted into N2 gas. But there will be some in form of ammonical, that is ammonia. So what will happen that has to be converted into nitrate and then to nitrate, nitrite, then to nitrate with help of, and then nitrite. This nitrate can be removed from the system. Okay. How this nitrate removal currently I don't remember, but generally there is some mechanism to remove this nitrate also from the system. But this ammonia is very uh, problem in the wastewater. That's why we have to remove this. And remember, the concept of this nitrifiers comes from the this nitrogen cycle. So I will just show you what is this nitrogen cycle. I hope you are able to see my picture, the picture which I am showing. So this is a nitrogen cycle. So remember here what is happening. This ammonia is getting converted to nitrate, then nitrite, and then this is by denitrifying bacteria it is getting converted into nitrogen gas. Okay. So this process is known as denitrification. Denitrification. So this helps in removal of This concept is also used in wastewater. Okay. So this helps in the removal of nutrition, and majority of nutrition is in the form of nitrogen only. Okay, so that's why it is important to uh, uh, I don't know your answer. Just let's discuss uh, one by one every option. Then we can conclude. First, I was giving some emphasis on this thing. How much time is left? 20 minutes left. So So before answering the question, I think you should understand what is this nitrifiers and why it is important for removal of nitrogen from the system. So remember, first question is why it is important to remove this nitrogen from the system. The removal of nitrogen is required because excess of nitrogen in the system can cause eutrophication of waste in wastewater. Yeah, not in wastewater. Now imagine that you have not removed wastewater nitrogen from your wastewater, and you have decomposed it in any river or in lake, and that wastewater or that treated wastewater contained high nitrogen, so that will lead to the eutrophication in the lake or river where you have thrown your wastewater, treated wastewater, because this nitrogen is very required. This is main ingredient for the algal growth, and algal growth results in a eutrophication. Okay, so that's why it is important to remove this organic nitrogen from the system. The two main groups of nitrifying bacteria involved in the process are ammonia oxidizing bacteria. These bacteria convert ammonia to nitrate in the first step of nitrification. So I have shown you the picture of nitrogen cycle. Ammonium nitrogen will be converted into NO2 minus. Example of ABD are genera nitrosomus and nitrosphoria. These you should remember these name because this nitrogen question related to nitrogen cycle is very common, asked in any competitive exam or in any viva. They can ask you that what are the different bacteria involved in nitrification or denitrification. And the second step is nitrogen oxidizing bacteria, nitrate oxidizing bacteria. These bacteria further oxidize nitrate to nitrite to nitrate in the second step of nitrification. Example of NOB is genera Nitrovector and Nitrospira. Okay, so the you should remember the name of these four uh, four bacteria. Now the question is why we are trying to remove this nitrogen. So nitrifiers are crucial component of biological wastewater treatment process such as activated sludge system and biofilm, where they help to remove nitrogen compound from the wastewater by converting them into less harmful forms. Effective nitrification relies on maintaining appropriate environmental condition, including sufficient dissolved oxygen levels, pH, pH, temperature, and absence of inhibitory substance that may affect nitrifier activity. So different conditions means my aim is to remove nitrogen from the system. Just remember that thing. Okay, I will be going via each and every option. The first option is high sensitive to oxygen. So remember the question is these nitrifiers means these bacteria are sensitive to which of the following things. Okay, now the first option is high sensitive to DO. Nitrifying bacteria is highly sensitive to dissolved oxygen. The required oxygen for their metabolic process and inadequate oxygen may can inhibit their activity, leading to the poor nitrification efficiency. Remember, they are saying that high sensitive to you. I don't, I think I have written the incorrect characteristics. Just let me go. That's why I will. The big option is detention time refers to the duration that wastewater spend in the treatment system. It is crucial for allowing microorganisms enough time to carry out their metabolic process effectively. Providing adequate detention time allow nutrition sufficient opportunity to convert ammonia to nitrate through the nitrification process. If the detention time is short, it may result in the incomplete nitrification and insufficient removal of nitrogen compound from the wastewater. In summary, the statement that nitrifier late detention time is incorrect. Nitrifiers generally requires longer detention time to accomplish their metabolic process effectively as compared to I think this question, sorry for one mistake from, select the incorrect, it will be incorrect. Uh, Incorrect option. Okay. So first option is first option is correct. So that's why our sensitive to highly sensitive, the more DO, more metabolic process, more nitrogen can be removed. It is saying second option is less detention time. No, a proper detention time should be there. Okay. C is high toxic. Nitrifying bacteria are vulnerable to various toxins and inhibitory substances commonly found in water. Exposure to toxin can disrupt their metabolic process and inhibit nitrification. So this is also miss. If something else is present apart from, see, remember these are common bacteria. They can easily die via some other exposing to some toxin. So it's your wastewater should not contain any kind of other harmful thing. Okay, the D option is the D option was, what was D option? DO can be used and measure control to D. A and D option are same thing. Means DO is required. So DO can be used as a measure of DO can be used as a measure to control nitrification and denitrification. Dissolved oxygen levels can be used as a control parameter to optimize nitrification and denitrification process in wastewater treatment. Monitoring and adjusting DO level can maintain optimal condition for nitrifying bacteria while minimizing the risk oxygen emission. So obviously again this option B is correct. Option B is correct is my answer because this is incorrect statement. Okay, na? And the question was, our question was select the incorrect characteristics of nitrifiers. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Coming to the second last question, um, that is a municipal wastewater treatment receives a flow of 25 mld. 25 mld means 25 million liter per day. Million means 10 की power 6 liter per day. The average BOD, that is BOD coming in the system, is to 35 milligram per liter. The volume of the reactor is 5000 meter cube. The microorganism concentration, that is X, is 2.5 gram per liter. If the reactor is operated at a hydraulic retention time of 12 hours, find the food by mass ratio. So I have already discussed what is this food by mass ratio. Mm, mm, this food by mass ratio. I will be using that formula to solve this question. The question is, hmm, I have already, again I have discussed this thing. So they are asking you to calculate this food by mass ratio. So remember, out of this question, first thing you have to know, remember, is what is the food by mass formula. If you remember the formula, if you even don't remember the formula, you can use the concept that what is food and what is mass. Food is the food that is coming from the system, that is coming from wastewater. And what is mass is microorganism present in the system. So food, what will be the food will be whatever the flow at the, whatever the flow, the BOD is coming. Remember, there is no way to measure organic matter in present in your system. The best way is to measure it by measuring BOD of the system. If you know the BOD, you know the organic matter present in the system. Okay, and the mass, that is food present in the system, it will be given by V into X, that is volume into the X, that is microorganism concentration. So food by mass ratio is given by this thing, and for our question it is given that 25 mld, that is 25 into 10 to power 6 liter per day. Out, we know that 1 liter is equal to 10 to power minus 3 meter cube, so that will result in 25,000 meter cube per day. S note, what is S note? Initial BOD, that is it coming in the system. BOD, or you say organic matter. So somewhere in the some question it will be written that organic matter coming in the base, or the content of organic matter is 225 milligram per liter. So that you have to consider as S. Different terms: subtract, BOD, amount of organic matter, all these things are S, that is 235. The best way to measure is BOD. Okay. The X is, remember, 2.5 gram. It is 2.5 gram per liter. So I have converted into milligram. 2500 milligram per liter, and volume is 5000 meter cube. So I will be putting here 25,000 millimeter cube per day, 250 milligram per liter, 5,000. Remember, this milligram will get cancel out. Just this milligram will get cancel out. This meter cube will get cancel out, and if you solve it, you will be getting food by mass ratio is 0.47 day minus. Remember, if you are giving subjective question, makes your subjective paper, just make sure to write the unit day minus. If you do not write it, you will your marks will be deducted. And in suppose, I hope you have understood. Coming to the last question of the day, the last question is that determine the effluent BOD. Remember, uh, this is influent BOD, means initial BOD that was coming in the system. Now after treatment, some BOD will be going out, and you have to determine how much BOD that will be coming out. So there is a proper derivation. So I hope everyone, know this formula, this mass balance equation. DC, VDC. I will try to remember. Write down VDC by. Sorry for the VDC by dt is equal to mass in my mhm, minus mass out out plus minus, it will be some reaction. Okay. So just remember what is happening, that in this control volume, the concentration or BOD is decreasing. So it will be a minus sign here. Some mass is coming. How much mass is coming? Q into S naught. And how much mass is going out? Q minus QW into S. This much mass is going out after. Remember, instead of C, I will be writing S. Okay, remember this is as S. Okay, and remember this, the concentration of this BOD is decreasing with the time. And if you remember the first slide, where I was remember all the biological growth, either it is decreasing or either it is increasing, it is happening by first order reaction. That is here ds by dt. Remember this, ds by dt is equal to minus k s. And again, if you take this s here, dt here, and if you integrate it, you will be getting the equation, s is equal to, that is concentration at any time will be initial concentration e की power mhm, hmm, e की power minus k t. Okay. So this will so you will now remember, this formation is happening, this sometimes some type of reaction is happening based on this equation. So I will be putting here this thing, this value, and I will be rearranging it in our desired flow. And remember, there are many terms like this this case I have already told you that at the rate the organic matter will degrade, then there is influent TSS. Influent TSS means the suspended solid is also coming in the system. So you have to consider the effect of all. So then see, this is the term KD is also there, a specific yield is also there. What is happening, that all the organic matter is present here is not decomposing as it is. So initially all the organic matter has to was supposed to be decomposed, but what it is saying that all the organic matter do not decompose completely 100%. So how much amount is decomposing, that is. So I will request you to go and look the definition of this mu m and this specific yield. Okay. So based on this mass balance equation, if you put out all the value, the influent COD is given, the influent BOD is given by this formula, and every term KS1 KD plus this sludge age, all thing has been given to you. You can put out the formula and you can check that the influent BOD that is coming in the system is this much, 8.66. So what is the significance of this equation? So now there is a wastewater which is for wastewater treatment plant, and that is disposing some wastewater in river, and that river and as per government rule it is said that the discharge limit in India is set by, there is a committee CPCB, CP, control of pollution control board, something like CPC, Center for Pollution Control Board, sorry, Center for Pollution Control Board, CPCB. So that has set some limit that if you are discharging in a lake, the BOD should be this much. So I will request you to go and look this CPCB. So now suppose if that treatment, now suppose the limit is 10 milligram per liter, and it is coming 8.665 milligram per liter, then this treatment plant can easily dispose their treated wastewater in river. Condition apply ki other parameter are also fulfilled. Okay. So this is the real use of this equation. Okay. So I hope this is clear to you. This was last question. If you have any question you can ask now, but time is up, that is it's already 9 p.m. The lecture is from 7 to 9 p.m. I hope.
Sir,
uh, yes.
sir, regarding formulas, there
Regarding.
are there are many formulas in the lectures, and
Yes.
they're instructed you should not have to mug up all the formulas. The formulas will be provided, and they're very confusing formulas.
See, actually, these formula are very complicated. But if you understand the basic things like what that question, um, see, these actually, if you sometimes what you generally when we are giving our INDSEM exam, yeah, in our college, then that formula is already written in the question. But if you are preparing for some kind of competitive exam like GATE, you are from which department? Civil?
No, sir, I have passed my master's from environment science.
Oh, so you are currently if you are preparing for exam, preparing for some examination, then you have to mug up this formula, because question, if you are prepared for this GATE 2024, then there was a direct question from this formula only related to one. So or either you can use this concept of this mass balance which I was saying that, but yeah, I can understand your problem that this formula are very confusing problem, confused equation. But if you use this concept of mass balance, like I have directly written this formula, but there is a proper derivation of this equation. So if you go back to the derivation part, then you can easily remember this formula. So
Sir,
I will.
I have a confusion.
Huh?
In assignments, I have a confusion in numerical question.
Okay, so which kind of question?
Sir, for example, I cannot remember the uh, what is the quantity given. It is flow rate or it is BOD. I'm confusion between all these terms.
Oh no,
The unit.
see, remember actually, remember this. Sir must have discussed this diagram. So whenever this type of question, first always try to draw this diagram. So from this question, suppose if I was going to solve this question, so it is written as average BOD coming. So I will draw this diagram, and I will draw this.
Interrupt.
Huh?
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. For example, in this question, there is given BOD 235 mg per liter.
Huh?
And the same, there is a concentration given 2.5 gram per liter.
Huh? So you
This
should.
here it is given is concentration, so we can assume that it is X given.
No, you don't have to assume. You have to follow the standard which is there in the system, which is there in the books, or which is being taught to you. So remember, this is BOD, and what did I told you? This BOD represent organic matter, and
Yes,
organic matter is donated by subtract present in the wastewater, and that is donated by S. Remember, I
yes,
told
sir. This
you there is four different terms used for same thing. That is for average BOD. Sometimes they will write average BOD. Sometimes they will also write these terms subtract. Sometimes they will write organic loading. So means you have to understand this is S, and this is microorganism. What is this microorganism? That is biomass. Microorganism, whenever they are talking of biomass, then that is by default it is X. So you don't have to assume anything. Means by reading question and following the standards which has already been set up in books, or that has been taught to you by instructor, you have to.
and
Hmm,
how can you differentiate between BOD or
huh?
the BOD outflow, BOD remaining BOD that is out from the system?
Out will be generally very less in amount. Will be very less. It will be in around hundreds, 100 200s. But the BOD which will be going out of the system after treatment will be, say, 10 to 50. And in question it will be clearly mentioned to you that influent BOD is given, yeah, outflow BOD. If there is some confusion, you can always assume that the BOD who has higher value is of influent, and the lower BOD is the one which is going outside from the system.
Sir, last doubt.
Yes.
Which standards we should follow? CPCB, BIS standards, or
No,
other standards?
CPCB is for wastewater, and IS or BIS is for drinking water. Both are different things. See,
Oh,
CPCP has put some. Suppose you are running a treatment plant, wastewater treatment plant, and the purpose of wastewater treatment plant is to treat water and dispose in river or land, or say lake. So CPCB has set some limit that these parameter like BOD, COD, then nitrate percentage should be up to this limit. Then these are, remember, center for CPCV, Center for Pollution Control, means they are controlling the pollution. But BIS is for drinking water. Now suppose someone is giving to drink some water. So the limit, like the presence of sodium, so not sodium, other elements like magnesium, calcium, chlorine, pH, that standard is given by BIS or IS 10500. Both are two different things. Do not merge those things.
Okay, thank you. So there are two words, permissible limit and desirable limit.
So permissible limit, I will just open this. Uh, uh, if you have attended my first week, I have explained this thing. Miss, I will share you. I will share you, Miss. You can go to my YouTube channel, Miss. Not YouTube channel. I'm not promoting things, but I have explained here. So see, there is acceptable limit and there is permissible limit. So if in here in the here, can you see my this slide, Miss? This PDF.
Yes, sir.
So now suppose you have some treatment method which can treat water in a specific way. So it is say that if you are able to treat your water in a very advanced way, then these parameters should meet. Means your pH of the water should be 6.5 to 8.5. Then aluminum should be 0.03 is required. This is required. Means it should not be less than 0.03. Okay, did you are
Yes,
you getting it? Means this much amount of aluminum can be in your water, but what is happening that means the here it is already written the limit in absence of alternative source. Means your treatment method is not so good that can make aluminum or any another contaminant up to required limit. So there is some relaxation that you can also drink water up to this limit, but in no case your limit should cross this permissible limit. Are you getting what am I saying? I will explain. If you are not getting, just tell me. I mean,
yes, sir.
there is means there is required limit that this much is required for drinking purpose. Means this pH of water should be 6.5 to 8.5. Apart from this range there should not be any miss up in. Suppose if you have don't have any other alternative source, still there is no relaxation. But suppose there is another thing is dissolved solid. So it is said that we can drink, means it is requireable that we should drink a water having a TDS of 500 milligram per liter. But if you don't have any kind of source, you can drink more than 500 also. But in that, sorry, but that limit should not cross 2000 milligram per liter.
Okay, sir. So, for exam point of view, we should remember
Permissible
acceptable
limit.
limit,
Permissible limit.
permissible.
Huh.
Okay,
Always
sir.
remember permissible limit. Or in every exam, everywhere you will go, people will ask the permissible limit. What is the permissible limit? Means when I was preparing for PhD interview in IIT Kanpur, people have asked me the permissible limit of fluoride because my MTech work was related to fluoride removal. So there were many questions related to fluoride only. So people will always ask permissible limit. And remember, a general question you also ask what is the permissible limit of pH. So you should whenever the permissible limit of pH is asked, you should always say that there is no permissible limit for pH. PH should be pH is acceptable only acceptable limit of pH is defined. Okay, now when sometimes you might have heard people are asking the what is the permissible limit of pH, and they say
Sir.
8.5. But you should be confident on this IS code, and you should answer that there is no permissible limit defined for pH. Only acceptable limit for pH is defined.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So if you have any doubt, you can ask or you can join next week.
Okay, sir.
Okay.